Always trying to up the numbers, yeah, just so we can shine this summer, yeah. What's the price? I don't know the price. We just trying to live life in paradise. Lifestyle, 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 lifestyle. Oh, lifestyle, 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 lifestyle. What's the price? We don't know the price. We just trying to live life in paradise. Always trying to up the numbers, yeah, just so we can shine this summer, yeah. What's the price? I don't know the price. We just trying to live life in paradise. Lifestyle, 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 lifestyle. Oh, lifestyle, 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 lifestyle. What's the price? We don't know the price. We just trying to live life in paradise.
Hope everyone's been enjoying their week so far. It is Wednesday, it's hump day. We halfway through that work week, so definitely appreciate everyone taking the time to tune in. We'll get started in 1 more second. And we're live. Alright, I'm gonna start tonight's show like we normally do. Just kind of go over the general market performance, looking at the major indexes and taking a look at some of the major cryptocurrencies. Then we'll go into some of the headlines, and then we're gonna wrap up tonight's show with looking at some charts and technical analysis and looking at some levels of support that could be key, especially with the swings we've been seeing in Bitcoin. I'm also going to show you guys some levels in Ripple, since I saw some questions on that come up on the comments of last night's show. So to start off, pretty much a down day across the market. Dow Jones Industrial Average was down slightly, down 0.07%. S&P 500 was down 0.11%, and the Nasdaq was also down 0.14%, and the Russell 2000 was down 0.02%. Bitcoin was up almost 2.5% in the last 24 hours. Gold is down a little over $1, down to end the day at 13.18, and the Euro US dollar was up slightly as well today. If you're looking at the markets throughout the day, the Dow Jones did sink to some intraday lows over 120 points before recovering. So at the open was a decent gap down type formation, but then throughout the day those levels of support kicked in. Basically a lot of speculation regarding the current levels on bonds. Some of those interest rates have been creeping up a little bit, and as interest rates on bonds go up, interest in stocks tend to slide down. So today was definitely one of those days that we saw a lot of volatility, a lot of movement, but due to some technical support levels, those kind of help recover those early morning losses. Also in other news, looking in the cryptocurrency space, Kodak, the once forgotten camera and film company announced that they are launching their own cryptocurrency called Kodak Coin. It's blockchain technology will allow easier um, usage and ownership rights for photo video work. So for amateur and professional photographers, it's designed to help make sure that they get paid whenever their photo or video gets used. So they're using blockchain technology to kind of secure and log those ownership rights and those usage rights, and then the artist will get paid using the Kodak coin. Uh, with that, developing news, um, Kodak stock has tripled in the last 2 or 3 days. In fact, let me go ahead and pull up the chart. I was looking at it earlier, just so you guys can kind of see the craziness going on. So first started leaking out Monday, and before Monday, their stock was uh, just around $3. And so Monday, it kind of spiked up a little bit above 4.5, and then today you saw it kind of top out at the open, spiking a little bit above $13. But it ended the day just under 11 at 1060. So it was a 57% rise in their stock just in today alone. So you've gone from $3 to if you got at this at the peak, you're looking at a fourfold increase in their price in just 3 days. So some crazy moves and swings on that. You've been seeing this a lot lately whenever a previously established company kind of hints or announces a new blockchain or a new cryptocurrency that they're looking to develop or research into, and you've seen these company stocks just take off. So there has been, some analysis and some, professional stock analysts saying that this could be a pump and dump type scheme. So definitely would be wary if you're looking to invest directly into Kodak stock. But seeing how some of these other announcements have caused stocks to go up 1,000% or more, and with it holding some of the support levels today, I think if it could hold that $10 level, you could definitely see it trying to retake that 13.28 short term high, and if it can break through there, I think you could see it going to 15 and higher. So definitely has been some uh, speculation and definitely some how would you put it? I wouldn't say scheming, but definitely a way that Kodak has been able to get their brand and the name back out there when it hasn't been out there in a while. In other cryptocurrency news, Overstock.com had discovered a glitch in their payment systems. Overstock has been known for a while to accept Bitcoin and kind of recently started accepting Bitcoin Cash for payments for items on their website. And what was happening was that they would give you the price in Bitcoin and give you a Bitcoin address to send your Bitcoins to for the payment. But people discovered you could send Bitcoin Cash and it would be accepted um, for the payment of those items. Well, the difference is, Bitcoin is currently over 14,000 a coin, and Bitcoin Cash is roughly 2,000 a coin. So people were able to save a lot of money taking advantage of that hiccup in the system. Another glitch was also discovered was that if a customer decided to return or cancel their order, even if they paid in Bitcoin Cash, it would be refunded in Bitcoins. So people, they're still researching to see maybe how much might have been business could have been affected by this. But if you were aware of that and could take advantage of that, that would have been a way that um, you could have flipped some money very quickly. Turning 100 into a couple of hundred uh, by taking advantage of that lapse in their coding. Um, Overstock does use Coinbase as their back end for their Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash payments. And they also announced that it wasn't something on the Coinbase side, but it was with how Overstock implemented their code on their website. And those two companies worked together to get that issue resolved. So they got that patched up fairly quickly. So that loophole is no longer open. Um, Warren Buffett was on CNBC doing an interview today after he announced, after Berkshire Hathaway had announced two new vice chairmen of the company setting up their succession plan. And during this interview, he is quoted as saying that um, roughly that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will come to a bad ending, and said that if he could, if there was a 5 year put, he would definitely buy a 5 year put, but he won't be getting into the future space or the Bitcoin or cryptocurrency space directly right now. So there was a little bit of pushback from the cryptocurrency community on those comments, but those type of comments come out fairly frequently from what you would call seasoned veterans of investing, as blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies have gotten it on more and more people's radar. Um, so that's kind of wraps up the headlines for today. So um, let's go ahead and dive deeper into some more charts. We're looking at Kodak right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ripple, as there's been a lot of movement in the price of Ripple over the last few days. I'm gonna switch this chart over here to a 45-minute chart just so you can see what's been going on. So um, about 4 or 5 days ago, it kind of spiked above 320, and since then it's been on its way back down. Um, what I'm looking for is for Ripple to be able to hold this $1.60 level. If it can hold this $1.60 level, you could definitely would maybe expect it to maybe start swinging back around, maybe into positive territory. Um, we do have a bullish crossover right now here on the MACD, but it looked like it might have switched back over and crossed over again into bearish territory as well in the last couple of hours or so. So today we saw it break down from roughly $2 today and dropped down to $1.60 before it kind of recovered. So some big moves um, in Ripple itself. So if you currently in Ripple, again, it would be a positive to see it hold that $1.60 level. We have been seeing a series of lower lows and lower highs, but in the last couple hours, if I try to zoom in here, we have started, a new trend of at least higher highs with these two spikes here and higher lows, but we are uh, have not retaken some support levels. So look for it to hold this $1.60 level, to hold this $1.60 level, and then can break back out above $2. That to me will be a signal of it returning back into more of a bullish formation. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. All right. So today, um, you can see here that we have kind of reversed this short-term trend that we've been going through for the last couple of days. It's held this 1350 13500 level pretty good, and it's recovered after it tested those levels twice. Um, It has spiked above a support level, but it didn't hold it, and it's kind of came back down. So let's see if we can retest and hold it. Um, we are starting to get more of a negative possible crossover, a bearish crossover possibly forming on the MACD. So look forward to hold this 13,500 level. And if you can see it break out above 15,000 again, let's see if that rally can resume. I'm going to pull this out to a 4-hour chart. And again, it still is building up a series of higher lows. It did stop building a series of higher highs when we had this pullback over the last 2 or maybe 3 days or so, looks like now. So again, we're looking forward to continue to hold that 13,500 level. And again, let's look for a breakout back above 15, maybe even 15.5 as well to, say that the bull has returned in Bitcoin. We're going to take a quick look at Ethereum. It's been fairly active as well in the last couple of days. It's kind of broke out above that 1,200 level, spiked up to 14,000. It's pulled back, and when it pulled back, it did touch and support at that roughly 1,200 level. So that's a good sign. As long as it can, hold that support at 1,200, look for another breakout above 14,000 to resume this bullish indication. We are having a nice channel from this last breakout above 750. So as long as you can maintain this channel, the bull market I think is still in good momentum. We do have a bearish crossover forming on the MACD, or just slightly has already formed on the MACD. So we could definitely expect some more downward pressure. But again, let's look for that $1,200 level for support. I'm going to go ahead and swing this over into your major markets, taking a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I'm going to turn it from a 4-hour chart to a 5-minute chart just so you can see the movements I was talking about today. At the open, it immediately spiked down to the intraday low before kind of rallying back. Did go to positive territory slightly before pulling back down. Good thing is it did hold these support levels, so I'm not looking at this as a signaling of a changeover, but with the first 5 or 6 trading days of the year so far all being positive, it's good to see a little pullback. In fact, I believe I said on Monday's show, expect a little bit of a pullback. You're looking at this daily chart, you can see here that it kind of spiked to the outside of that Bollinger Band, which will normally we'll see a kind of a mean revision and pull itself back in line of the band. That's kind of what happened today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500. Let me take a look at the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF. Again, those first few days of trading of the new year had a nice strong rally, kind of leveled out today. And again, take this to a 5-minute chart. Again, you had that big gap down, kind of recovered. The S&P never really got back into positive territory, but it did recover nicely and hold those major support levels. Let's take a look at some major stocks. Intel's been in the news lately with some security flaws discovered in their chips. That's actually been also affected AMD on some of theirs, as well as mobile processors, the ARM processors like you find in most smartphones, including Apple and Android phones. So taking a look at what Intel's been doing, you've seen that their stock has kind of pulled back pretty significantly. I think they're down from 7% since that news came out a few days ago. As you can see, it went from about 47 down to 42.50 today, almost closing out on the lows of the day. So definitely it's some negative pressure building in the semiconductor space. Again, the semiconductors perform very well last year, so it's not surprising to see some of this, uh, downward pressure, at least in the short term, in uh, the chip space. You did have this nice kind of cup and handle maybe starting to form before the news came out of those security flaws in chips, and that kind of caused a spike down. So looking at the MACD, we do have a good, strong bearish crossover on the MACD. On the looking at the SMH semiconductor ETF, so look for another bullish crossover form before we go back positive on it. Also look for the estimation to hold that $100 level and a recover to kind of show some support there. Um, let's take a look at oil. Oil, looking at the oil index, OIL. Oil's definitely been on a rally for the last couple of months, and that rally has just continued really throughout the since the start of the new year, and has really pushed the price of oil above $60 a barrel for the first time in a couple of years. Let me see if I can actually pull up the WTI. Here we go. One second, y'all. Hello? Oh, what's going on? Okay, okay. Yeah, hold on one second. Sorry about that, y'all. I am back. Got to take that phone call for the fam. But speaking back on oil, as you can, let me pull this chart out. I'm gonna pull this to a 4-hour chart from a 2-hour chart. You can see since the lows of June, we've been channeling up nicely in oil, and just looking over really since the end of December, since a low of 57 has kind of been really accelerating to the upside, and today kind of topped out at 63.59. Let's look for a breakout above 64 to continue the rally. Again, this is the first time in quite a while to see oil prices, this high. In fact, let's see, the last time we was at these levels was in 2015. So we're at 2-year highs, which is a good thing, especially here where I'm at in Oklahoma. So you definitely may see some production beginning to come back online. If you see too much production begin to come back online, that may kind of force some downside pressure to resume back on oil. With these rallying, the way kind of is accelerating, I would not be surprised if we get a maybe even a check back to below 60, but definitely look for a breakout above 64 to signal that the market is continuing to go up to the positive side on oil. Last one thing chart I want to take a look at is going to be uh, going to take a look at do I have it on here? I should have said there is Boeing. Um, Boeing has rallied hard over the last couple of days. As you can see, kind of once it broke out to the new above 300, and it's been soaring really ever since, and kind of spiked up today above 322, a new all-time high. It's really been stacking in orders over the last few months, with a lot of orders coming in from the Middle East and Asia for their new, more efficient airlines, more efficient airplanes. So Boeing's really been, if you want to take a look back, really once it broke out from this 140, 150 level, it's been kind of a rocket ship of an airline stock for the last a little over a year now. So would not be surprised with this latest move, with how quickly it's gone up. Maybe not see a pullback. If you do see a pullback, let's say that 310 level or even the 300 level may be a good price to get into if it pulls back. But just looking at how it's performing, after his last earnings call, it kind of remained flat for a while around that 260 level, and then it kind of broke out beginning end of November to currently on this news of those big orders at some of these large air shows, over in the Middle East and in Asia. That's going to kind of wrap up tonight's show. Hopefully you got some good information, good tips. I don't see any questions, comments, or anything like that on tonight's show. So if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, always drop them in the comments. Also, again, if you want to enter this week's Bitcoin giveaway, all you have to do is like the Black Money Market News page, and then like, share, and comment on one of this week's shows. Also, if you do support what we're doing here at the Black Money Market News, there's links in the video for you to be able to make a donation via PayPal or become a Patreon and get exclusive information in our newsletter. Again, appreciate everyone for watching and tuning in tonight. Again, my name is Samuel Hill, and to this tonight's episode of the Black Money Market News.